the end of fossil fuels is going to mean that New Zealand has to adapt to new technologies, and the energy economic modelling that I've been involved in is looking at various scenarios as to how to both minimise the impact of the end of fossil fuels, but also how to engage with those new technologies. So the area of my research is modelling New Zealand's energy economy out to 2050, particularly with relation to new technologies, new energy systems, and I've been collaborating both nationally and internationally with University of Iceland, Kanagawa University, a consortium of research institutes in Scandinavia, with Callaghan, formerly Industrial Research, and also with a commercial entity in New Zealand. Well, it goes back to 1999 when I was at Stanford University and was talking to an old professor of mine, and he'd actually taken up hydrogen as his area of excellence at that time. And as head of School of Civil and Environmental Engineering, I thought this was a really good subject, very relevant to New Zealand. So I invited him down to New Zealand, and he was on national television. And then that attracted the attention of CRL Energy and Industrial Research, as it was then, and they ended up giving me 3 subcontracts to develop a model of New Zealand's energy economy to look at the influence of hydrogen and how it might impact on the economy out to 2050. This research is unique in the sense that the computer modelling that we actually used is based on a system that is not widely used by people in the energy economic environment. This particular type of software is very good for engaging a number of different researchers because it's very transportable and transparent between researchers, so that makes it a very easy tool to use. So behind me is the computer model called Unicid 5.1. There are lots of circles and lots of lines and a few squares, and the lines actually mean that one circle is connected to another, and each of the circles is a variable. So one variable might be the price of diesel fuel in New Zealand, another one might be the cost of a battery in an electric vehicle, and so these lines dictate dependencies. And behind each of the circles and each of the squares is an equation describing the way that those two variables interact. When I first started, nobody really knew about hydrogen as a fuel for the future. There were a few academics and others in industry who were looking at it. That technology is about to have an impact globally. For instance, hydrogen vehicles are about to become available for the first time in history, and that is the start of a revolution in relation to vehicle transport technology that is probably going to last over the next 50 to 100 years.